Into a modern day canary queen. So to all my little birds out there, I want to remind you, silence is only golden if you prefer gilded cages. Secrets buried and kept inside grow in time to boiling rages, cropping up unexpected, exacting steep mental wages. So recover your voice and speak at open mics on lit stages. If mute, let ink be your breath. Talk with pen on loose leaf pages. I used to be a Cinderella. When the rain soaked through my thin, cinder-soiled rags, I would gaze at the palace on the hill in awe, unaware of how constricting proper corsets are. So many wishes were made, kneeling in damp straw, tending to my dead father's wife and her daughters, sweeping up the cobblestone paths and minding the hearth. I'd dream of royal masquerades and silk dresses and of soft downy beds while curled up on bare earth. So innocent back then, cleaning with cherished friends, the horse, our watchdog, the bluebirds and red robins, confiding in mice whom I had given first names, suddenly flash-blinded by twilight magic and lace bobbins. An evening of marble hallways and symphonies, of barons and dukes and a prince, my mystery date. Wand-granted wishes, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. And in just a few hours, my choice sealed all our fates. Horse, he remains a coachman, with odd cravings for hay. The rodents, they're still horses, penned in the stable. The dog is a footman, and he's kicked around by the cook. To visit them, I must ask others if I'm able. Captive in this castle, I'm surrounded by guards, denied time to myself, no allowance for choice, tracked down by glass slipper with no choice to refuse. Of all that was lost, what I've missed most is my voice. So I learned that if the shoe fits, run. I had to discover myself. Like Peter with his shadow, somewhere along my misadventures, I lost my smile. Too often trying to please lost boys and crocodiles. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Years passed on life's clock. But as Big Ben struck 12, I charged like a bat out of hell through the hooks and tethers. No pixie dust was required, so I gave Tink some time off and spent the day sorting through stuff. Marbles, keys, crayons, and treasures forgotten, like who I was. When the second star to the right burned bright in the heavens, illuminating so many tomorrows, sorrows walked the plank. Banished were lower lip trembles, and without sewing kits or thimbles, my smile returned, as the pirates who stole my wings were conquered. Soaring, I swore to never land. With a clear vision, I soon realized that fairy tales are dreams, but fairy truths apply to us all. When it comes to fairy tale truths, nothing's in stone, except a rumored sword stuck in Camelot days, and that fable ended with an unsettled throne. Happily ever after hides dark, sinister ways. For every princess done up in pretty pink lace, primping and preening, used to perching on high thrones, a peasant seamstress has sweat rolling down her face, hungry children at home, and fingers worked to the bone. For each strapping young prince on his steed for the hunt, robust entourage in tow, pampered since a tot. Whipping boys scream in the dungeon bearing the brunt for crimes of the wealthy, to which they matter not. When a vain queen faces a mirror and queries, "Who's the fairest of them all?" As time tick-tocks past, the working class, housemaids and servants grow weary, shattered by broken dreams, their brief youth stolen fast. When a king reigns at a banquet table with friends, feasting and tasting and toasting his chef's delights, a village in earshot of the partying men suffers famine, failed crops, and overtaxation. Dire proclamations of fierce dragons to be slain by nobles who manipulate the masses with fear seek to distract and prevent uprisings again by commoners and pawns at whom the gentry sneer. And Snow White's stepmother tried to warn her about the havoc that society plays on our minds. "We are quite similar, my sweet pet, though your lily innocence betrays that the simple truth proves elusive yet. You, raven-haired beauty of noble birth, with complexion of pearl, lips rose red, sheltered from society on earth, naive to that which is expected. Just wait until the world lays hands on you. Callous judgment will be reflected. Though pure Snow White beautiful today, time will march across that lithe body and curse it with chains called old and gray. Youth draws love and opportunities, doorways which slam shut as women age. Panicking ladies seek remedies. Keen peddlers with tonics and potions prey on that fear and steal our money. Stopping time becomes our devotion. After barbaric treatments which harm, matrons have it thrown in our faces that it's their vials, not us, that create all our charm. Bombarded with the next trick that's needed, vicious mental torture is aimed at us, sinking our self-esteem. It's deep-seated. The brutal, constant competition led me to the mirror for comfort, seeking advantage in the mission. Validate me, mirror. Please validate me, mirror on the wall. You'll cry homage to it too, child. Custom makes evil queens of us all. And this bathroom debate? Please. Trans people have been hiding in plain sight for ages. Here's the tale of a he who is now she that you might recognize. From the time I took my baby steps, it's been ingrained, you see, that the hopes of my parents, the court, and the kingdom rest on me. Excelling at all things deemed princely was the only option. Appearing robust and smart and athletic, their prime air concoction. Hunting, fishing, and looking dashing in furs and royal clothes. Silk tights were the only thing I liked. My secret no one knows. I trumped the nightly competition to make them all proud, accepting single lady favors and playing up to the crowd. Away from the view, behind castle walls, dressing myself in lace. Only when I'm alone do I dare display my true face. I'm expected to be a champion, what they see as a man. A gold winner in track and field events, drawing lines in the sand. I've accomplished all those things, quite true, adapting to their spin. But I'm exhausted from living this lie. So please, call me Caitlin.
Yes.
And wayward youth are still vilified and sometimes killed. But their deaths are not always in vain. I am the knave who stole the tarts, in the form of cigarillos. So tempting on the shelf, I forgot what they could cost a fellow. My last moments were spent in fight or flight, scared and excited. But Officer Wilson, he's at ease, never even been indicted. The civil unrest to follow was markedly violent indeed, screaming with angry actions of a people supposedly freed. How could peace and order be expected in Ferguson's tense streets when an unarmed son lay lifeless for 4 hours, covered by a sheet? Police responded with military-style force and equipment, birthing more questions nationwide and change, fueling a new movement. For decades we've heard sirens and hurried like insects to scatter. At least my short life, shot dead in the street, gave strength to Black Lives Matter. So I say buck the system and be you. My last fairy truth tonight is Song of the Canary, and I wrote it as a message to ladies both young and old that there's no need to be a Cinderella because fulfillment is not found in a fella. Once upon a time, not so long ago, there was a princess, frowning at the etiquette books, making her room a mess. Rising from her feathered pillows, she stood with arms akimbo, glared at the plaque on her wall, and cried, "What am I, a bimbo?" Peeling off her layered gown of soft pink, she stared at herself. The mirror showed an hourglass frame, impish like an elf, long blonde hair to her waist and long lashed eyes of emerald hues, not a flaw on her flesh from head to her cloth satin shoes. Her lush painted rose lips, with corners turned down, as she glared at her heart-shaped derriere, deepened their frown. A perfect princess is alone what they see, instructing me on how to speak and act. She sighed. They just don't see me. Reading aloud the sign's words, "Sit pretty and wait for your prince to come." Pulling on comfortable stable clothes, she sneered, "Just sit and wait. Then when he comes, go straight to that castle and procreate." Stalking to the window, trimmed in lace, she threw open the shutter and voiced her wishes to the world, in a scream, not a mutter. "I want to travel, to learn by doing, to fulfill my needs and contribute to my kingdom, not merely exist to breed." Listening for reply, and hearing none, she did declare, "I will make my own life and have experiences, I swear." Looking around the room, the prison of her birthright is air. Spying her sewing basket, she grabbed scissors and cut off her hair. In stable boy's clothes, the princess smoothed out her new bobbed tresses and hid the severed hair in pockets of old dresses. Knowing she'd need time to escape and make her way in the world, into pouches she stuffed jewels to sell, and her pack was soon furled. With a last look at her gilded cage, she was out the window, climbing down the thorny trellis. Her face held freedom's glow. Sprinting to the stables, commandeering a strong, healthy steed, she bolted towards the kingdom's seaside at near breakneck speed. That was the last that I saw of her, between the bars of my own gold cage. I, the canary, took a week before singing of her rage. I understood her feeling trapped by society, her unhappiness, and the great yearning to be free. Her room is now a shrine by her mother's decree. One thing is new, a parchment scroll left open which I can see. Don't worry, mother. Don't fret, father. I'm doing quite well. I've found adventure suits me nicely, and I've traveled a spell. I've met many people and learned to speak foreign tongues, even tie sailing knots. Turns out, girls can make it in the world with the skills they've already got.